Have you ever felt overwhelmed by a complex project? Whether you are building a circuit, or you're launching a software update, or even just making a special dinner, a solid plan is the key to success. Today, we are going to break down the world of project management and planning. So, what is project management or planning? In essence, it's a coordinated way of organizing technical activities. At the heart of it is a scheduling technique that helps us monitor and control projects. We break a process down into smaller operations and then use a network to show how these pieces are logically connected. This helps us arrange the work to make the entire process faster, cheaper, or both. Let's take a simple example: making jollof spaghetti. The steps are: A. Parboil the spaghetti. B. Filter it. C. Prepare the stew. D. Transfer the spaghetti into the stew to cook. E. Clean dishes and cutlery. And F. Serve the spaghetti. Some steps depend on others. For instance, you can't do D until A, B, and C are done, while some other steps don't depend on others. For instance, you can choose to do E anytime before F. Project planning helps us map this out, estimate how long each step takes, and identify the critical steps that can't be delayed. To understand this, we need to learn the language. Here are the key terminologies. 1. Network. This is a flow diagram showing the sequence of operations. It can be a straight line, which is called serial sequential logic projects, or half branches, which is called or known as non-serial sequential logic projects. 2. Activity. This is a single operation represented by an arrow. Every activity has a duration. Activity can be identified by a letter or by its two-end event number. 3. Node or event. This is the beginning or end of an activity, represented by a number in a circle. It has details like an identifier, which is the description of event level. Normally we use a number. Activity duration, start times, finish times, and a float. An event can be numbered randomly. That is, no pattern is followed, but no two events will have the same number. It can also be numbered topographically, which means that as we move from start to finish, our number increases. It can also be numbered sequentially, which means numbering based on choice, maybe because the team recognized that event by a number. 4. Float. This is the leeway or free time you have for an activity. 5. Critical paths. This is the chain of activity with zero floats. If any activity on this path is delayed, the whole project is delayed. 6. Dummy. This is a fake activity with no duration, and it is used only to show a logical relationship. 7. Beginning slack. This is the difference between the latest time for starting an event and the earliest time for starting an event. 8. End slack or interfering float. This is the difference between the latest time to end an event and the earliest time to end an event. One common way to represent a network is an arrowhead diagram. Here, events are circles with number and activities are arrows with letters. Using our spaghetti example, we can represent it like this. There are strict rules to follow while using the arrowhead diagram. 1. If two activities end at the same event, both must be finished before moving on. You can't do F unless E and A, B, C, D are done. 2. No two activities can share the same start and end events. If they do, you must use a dummy activity. 3. Use dummies and linking activity to link interconnected chains of activities. We can start preparing our stew while parboiling the spaghetti. 4. There must be only one final event. If you have to, connect them with a dummy. 5. Never create a feedback loop. The flow should always move forward. Now, how do we analyze this? We perform 2 passes. First, the forward pass. We move from start to finish, adding activity durations and putting them in boxes. The sum at the end of an activity is its earliest start time. When parts meet, take the largest number. Next, the backward pass. We start from the end and walk backward, subtracting durations and putting them in triangle. The result is the latest start time. When parts diverges, we take the smallest sum. By combining this, we can create a neat analysis table that shows all our times, durations, and most importantly, the floats of each activity, which helps us find our critical paths. Arrowhead diagram are powerful, but there are other methods. The precedence diagram puts activities in boxes and show relationship with lines. It's often easier to use. That is, no dummies are needed, and it's simple to insert new activity. Also, all the key details are neatly organized inside each box. And finally, there's the classic Gantt chart or Gantt chart. This is a fantastic visual tool that shows activities against a timeline, making it very easy to see the project schedule and progress at a glance. So after all this work, what are the real-world benefits of network analysis? It identifies bottlenecks so you can overcome them. It finds problem areas early, allowing you to allocate time and resources wisely. It provides clear control, letting you measure progress against the plan. It enables precise planning and creates realistic performance standards. It clearly identifies responsibility and minimizes emotional reaction to delays by providing hard data. Ultimately, it's an intellectual stimulant that forces you to think through your project logically from start to finish. Now let's get a clearer picture of that all-important concept, float. Remember, float is your wiggle room, but it's not just one number. There are different types that tells you different stories. First, total float. This asks, if we start this activity on its earliest possible day, how much can we delay it without pushing back the entire project? It's the total leeway of the activity. Then there is free float. This is more specific. It asks, if we want the next activity to start as early as possible, how much time can we sleep on this one without affecting the next activity? It's the free time you have before you start causing a chain reaction. Late free float, on the other hand, flips the script. It asks, if we already started this activity late, how much free time do we have within this new tighter schedule? And finally, the most protective measure, independent float. This asks, if everything before this activity finished late and we want everything after it to start early, how much wiggle room is left just for this task? It is the float that is truly yours, no matter what happens elsewhere. Understanding these differences is crucial for effective resource allocation and risk management. Identifying the critical paths, that is the chain of activity with zero floats, is the ultimate goal of this analysis. This part is the project heartbeat. Any delay here is a direct delay to your final deadline. This knowledge is power. It tells you exactly where to focus your attention. You know which tasks needs your best resources, which ones require constant monitoring, and where you can afford to be a little flexible. It's the difference between guessing and knowing. So let's bring it all home. The principles we used to map out our Jollof spaghetti are the exact same principle used to manage a multi-million-dollar construction project, a software launch, or a marketing campaign. The tools may get more sophisticated, from hand-drawing diagrams to softwares like Microsoft Project or Primavera. P6, but the core logic remains. Break down the work, understand the dependencies, find the critical parts, and manage your float. To quickly recap, project planning organizes complex work. We use networks like Arrowhead and Precedence diagram to visualize it. Analysis through forward and backward passes reveals start and end times. Float identifies flexibility, and the critical part identifies non-negotiable sequence. Gantt charts provides a easy-to-read timeline. Mastering network analysis doesn't just help you plan a project, it gives you control, reduces uncertainty, and provides a clear, logical framework for success. It transforms a daunting challenge into a manageable sequence of steps. So the next time you face a big project, don't just dive in. Take a moment to draw your network, find your critical parts, your future, less stress self. We thank you for it.